When Mendy sees the startling confession, Yandandi starts crying. lhhatl 13 You better grab onto your wigs because the events of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 13 have completely destroyed the series. Tell me now. When your spouse admits to cheating, how do you respond? Not just with anybody, but with a castmate who has spent years drinking across from you on the same reunion couches. It's that deep, I see. Because reality TV treachery was completely turned upside down by Kirk Frost, and she's not shouting, Rasheeda. She's not flinging her hands. Sis is just broken and standing there shaking, silent. Why? Because it is said that Kirk admitted to having a serious affair with Carly. Red. Indeed, Carly, I remain in disarray. Red. It was captured on camera as well. This isn't a plot, sorry. This isn't a plot twist, I assure you. This scandal stew is getting out of control. Audio leak. Yes, there are hidden texts everywhere, cast in shock. You're aware already, and you know what? Hip Hop and Love didn't stop the cameras. They leaned closer. So grab your popcorn, buckle up, and hit record. I'm about to show you all the messiest confession law in history. Kirk Frost said, "Hold my mic, let me cause a meltdown real quick because this ain't just your average cheating scandal. Nah, this is primetime betrayal seasoned with Carly Red, marinated in secret hotel meats and served to Rasheeda ice cold. Right in front of the entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast and the cameras. Yep, rolled the whole time." He said this just when he thought he could no longer surprise us. Let's go back a moment. Let's not forget that Kirk has been caught, exposed, forgiven, and Ray revealed more times than Stevie J has said. This is especially important for those of you who have been emotionally shielding yourself from Kirk's 10-year history of relationship crimes. It's not what it seems, but this time, it's not about ambiguous direct messages or a random Instagram model. Apparently, Kirk didn't simply cheat again. So this time the tea is so hot that it burnt Rasheeda's entire emotional stability on camera. With tears in his eyes and receipts with Carly Red's name in the awful sentence, he confessed. Take a moment to process that. Red Carly, the same Carly who has traded signals in a packed bar with more reality show males than we can count. It turns out that the same Carly who previously said, "I'm too real to fake my life," was also too real with Rasheeda's husband. Let's establish the scenario now. The producers had arranged what they believed to be a typical dinner scene with a hint of drama, the typical tint, flirting, you know? Perhaps someone abruptly leaves. They were unaware that they were about to document the decade's most romantic and hip-hop moment. In Midtown Atlanta, the cast had assembled in a private lounge. Dim lighting, upscale beverages, in the midst of the shrimp and grits, there was no indication that Kirk was going to drop a huge truth bomb, just the tapping of fancy heels on the floor. Rasheeda looked beautiful as always. Peaceful mood, face beat, and a sleek ponytail. Carly was probably thinking that she was going to start a small drama that would not turn into a major one as she sipped her cocktail and smiled, as if he had just read his own death certificate. Kirk was sitting there gnawing his lip. His neck was tense, and you could feel it. Then it took place. There was no plan. There was no script. Not even a prompt was given. When a man who has cheated on you every season opens a sentence like that, you know you're in trouble. Kirk simply leaned forward, looked Rasheeda in the eyes, and said, "There's something I need to tell you, girl." Rasheeda blinked. She reasoned that this might have to do with some old messages, a producer's drama, or in the worst-case scenario, a fictitious feud with Scrappy. Not at all. Kirk took a big breath, cleared his throat, and stated during that break some time ago, "I made a mistake, and it involved Carly, one of the cast members." The record scratch begins. Bring on the jaws, striking the ground. Cute Rasheeda is becoming quite quiet. And Carly, that smile vanished as quickly as a baby shower-side chick. Her eyes widened like a raccoon under LED spotlights, and she froze in. Silence. In the background, you could hear the jingle of Spice's bracelet, everyone. It became that quiet. The producers trembled. Rasheeda didn't scream or toss, and even the boom mic guy leaned in and said, wait, this was not part of the script. Even Mona Scott probably had to pause her mimosa when she saw the playback. A drink, first not even flinching. You could see her digesting, but she just sat there. The relationship developing, the betrayal registering, and case anguish playing out. If you know Rasheeda, you are aware that she has remained faithful to Kirk despite being unfaithful. Rude, embarrassing in public, and having that strange baby mommy persona that no one liked. However, it seemed as though the last straw had been soaked in petrol and set ablaze. Worst of all, Carly didn't dispute it. The fake was not even attempted by her. It was merely a rumor. She simply gazed down at her glass as if the ice cubes contained the answers, everyone. When with a single tear and no words, Rasheeda rose at last. As if Bianca had abandoned her in the storm, a solitary tear trickled down her cheek. After that, she left. No yelling, no shoes flying, just gone. Carly attempted to say something to Spice in the meantime, but Spice even gave her the "don't talk to me right now" look. When Spice doesn't even want to be criticized, you've messed up. This man sat there like a discarded puppy. Kirk, as he tries to figure out how to spin this in his next confessional, his lower lip trembles. I didn't intend for it to occur. We were at risk. Quit talking, boy. This is what you intended. Since the year 2011, you have been destined for chaos. And you know what? And that was just the start. Because it wasn't simply awkward what came next. Fans found out on Twitter about a dodgy Sparseat, burner account controversies, DM leaks, and a full-fledged cast civil war. We must first discuss what transpired backstage when the cameras believed they had halted everything before delving into the chaos that arose the very next morning, including what Rasheeda shared in her since-deleted Instagram account and the person Carly attempted to place the blame on. Where were we then? Yes, indeed. Rasheeda plunged, her heart in pieces, tears in her eyes, and a mixture that was still unbelievably hot. Backstage, however, the tea was still boiling, darling. Producers hurried, cameras were still filming, the mix was still on, and Mona Scott most likely yelled, "Do not cut," somewhere in the control room as soon as Rasheeda left. Carly Reed. As if it were a portal to 2010, Sis attempted to vanish into that velvet lounge chair. Rasheeda didn't return home, which was the actual twist. Spice was just giving her that Jamaican anti-death look like, "Mazin, believe you did. This, not you." No, Ma single quotes him. This is where it gets really fiery. She reportedly informed producers, "If y'all don't give me a minute, I swear I'll burn this whole set down," as she rushed directly to her green room and slammed the door. According to an unnamed staff worker, Rasheeda was pacing her dressing. "Sis, get over this man already," Rasheeda wrote in an old post that became a therapy session. What is the average number of seasons required to learn Carly? Really? Even for Kirk, that's low. Hernandez shared a video with the title, "This is the reason I left LO," including Joe's line, "The same sloppy energy each year." Not to mention the cast's response the next day. Have a meeting about the manufacture of tea at the hotel. With heels on and no tears in her eyes, Rasheeda arrived looking stunning. She remained silent. For a whole minute, she simply sat across from Carly and gazed at her. Carly opened her mouth to say. Rasheeda raised her hand. "Don't. Not quite yet." Boom, it was cold energy. We discovered another twist at this point. Spice, meantime, sat between them like a neutral Jamaican goddess, drinking tea and wearing sunglasses. She said, "I'm just here for my bill." Carly apparently did not want the video to be shown. According to reports, she requested that the sequence be deleted because it would harm her business and image. What brand, girl? The craziness of Carly's collection. Naturally, Mona Scott was said to have said, at that point Carly began to lose her mind. "This is what we pay y'all for. Nobody's cutting anything." In an attempt to elicit pity and provide an explanation, she started contacting the other cast members. Kirk assured her they were done for good, but she believed Rasheeda had moved on, so she told Bumpy Spice and even Eric Mina that Kirk had lied to her. The worst part, though, was that she wrote, "I thought she already knew. Kirk informed me that he had informed her." That's right there. Carly chaos, classic style. Rasheeda in classic Kirk cowardice. She was finished. Without talking to Kirk, she reportedly packed her belongings, left the hotel early, and returned to their Atlanta home. Don't get it wrong, though. She wasn't trying to hide. That night, she went live. Just vibrations, no tears. According to her, loyalty is meaningless if it is only applicable when it is simple. I see everything, but I'm not talking about nothing at the moment. PH. We refer to that as a power clapback. The following day, Kirk was seen at the Frost Bistro, appearing to have aged by 10 years. All night. Just clumsily posing with admirers and dodging inquiries about Carly, no Rasheeda in sight. What comes next, though? Because the storm hasn't even reached its full intensity yet, sweetie. When Rasheeda does speak in public, what will happen? Suppose she doesn't show up for the reunion? What happens if Mona Scott releases additional video? Furthermore, it has recently come to light that Kirk has been associated with other cast members. Then Carly. Yes, the layers of betrayal are the reason we're delving further in this video. We have yet to reach the center. Keep an eye out. You would be remiss if you missed it. If you thought part 2 was crazy, get ready for part 3, which is going to blow you all away. Where were we then? Yes, indeed. Rasheeda fell silent. While Carly Red Sis was attempting to repair the damage as if she were working public relations for the devil himself, Kirk was out here strolling around like a lost middle-aged man at brunch. However, this isn't over because just fans were. Beginning to process the Carly Red affair, the secret lover bombshell was being discussed in the streets of Atlanta. Suddenly, another name appeared on the love and hip-hop backlot. Kirk had also been creeping with the producer's assistant, a woman named Nyla, who's been seen in the background of several scenes throughout the previous 3 seasons. Furthermore, she's 24 years old. 24 indeed. According to sources, months ago, Nyla and Kirk were spotted cuddling together at a private after-party that Mona Scott threw. According to witnesses, Kirk was speaking in her ear, massaging her thigh, and even driving her out of the party in his Tesla. Is this some sort of midlife crisis? This is when the plot twist comes in. It seems that Rasheeda was aware of Nyla prior to the Carly incident. Kirk apparently denied it as if his life depended on it when she questioned him about it off camera. Then this occurred. Kirk's phone burner. He did, in fact, manage to leave one at the Frost Bistro. A barman picked it up one evening, noticed the wallpaper, a mirror selfie of Nyla wearing one of Kirk's chains, and gave it back to Rasheeda right away. Imagine Rasheeda unlocking a phone and seeing a Gen Z side chick wearing her man's jewelry as soon as she does. I need a moment, everyone. The reunion is going to blow apart. No, producers are already planning additional protection while the group prepares for the season 13 reunion. Although Rasheeda has not yet confirmed her attendance, rumors have it that Mona Scott is doing all in her power to lure her on stage, even if it means promising her a mansion. The intention was to have Carly Red, Kirk, and Rasheeda face each other in front of cameras and without the ability to edit, and be prepared for fireworks if Rasheeda does appear. According to reports, she is preparing for a full-on divorce plotline in the upcoming season by consulting with an off-camera private investigator. She also intends to provide her own collection of audio records, screenshots, receipts, and even video from her home security camera, which purports to show Kirk entering M without a reason. Rasheeda isn't coming to play either. Spice claims that during her 3 minutes on Instagram Live, she only laughed and said nothing. Rasheeda is reserving her ammunition for the night of the reunion. We need a prayer circle, popcorn, and security. Carly begins the warm-up. Additionally, Carly Red is now turning on the entire cast, even though she's gone completely crazy after being forced online. After they liked Rasheeda's dubious post, she unfollowed Spice, Bambi, and Eric Mina. She then went on Twitter and said, "Y'all fake. Don't act like your men been loyal either." As a result, it's now a Misery Loves Company tour. Carly went on her podcast as well. Yes, it seems that she now has one. Kirk is mature. He knew what he was doing. "I made a mistake, but I didn't ruin anything that wasn't already broken," he stated. That sentence contains a nuclear level of gaslight. However, it doesn't end there. This been toxic. Y'all just mad. It's on me now. This ain't damage control. This is Carly detonating herself. Carly also shared an old clip of Rasheeda yelling at Kirk from season 5, captioning it, "Public backlash hits hard outside of lhhatl. The public has fully picked sides." Let's just say Kirk and Carly are being pulled from Peachtree to Buckhead. On Twitter, Team Rosita began to trend. Fan edits of her sobbing while listening to gospel music are all over TikTok. Above it. Additionally, supporters created a GoFundMe page called Free Rasheeda from Kirk. Last week, Carly attempted to advertise her skincare line, but the remarks were harsh. Does it absolve guilt? Does betrayal disappear? Exfoliate your values, girl. Kirk, he's in hiding. One person even said, "You slept with Rasheeda's man and now trying to sell eye cream. Girl, go to church." It's been days since he last posted. According to sources, he's staying at a friend's condo in Midtown, dodging cameras. And he keeps phoning Rasheeda, but she's not responding. Rumor has it that Rasheeda blocked him on all platforms, including Apple Pay. Don't assume that Rasheeda is merely crying into her glam wipes as part of her retribution scheme. Her tentative title is Boss Up, Rasheeda's Revenge, and it's said that she's working with VH1 executives to create a spin-off program about recovering her peace, redesigning her business, and teaching women how to avoid trash men. And guess what? She may not be walking by herself. In an attempt to transform the mess into a movement, sources claim she is collaborating with Dandy Sierra and perhaps Candy Boris for cameos. Kirk is left with a frost bro and an empty house. In the meantime, employees report that he appears to be a ghost and is hardly present. Glimpse of the last scene. A small reunion for season 13. Oh, allow me to describe the final reunion moment that the producers are preparing. Scene. It's cold in the room. Rasheeda enters with her last hair down, her clothes neat, and her face unreadable. Kirk folds his hands and sits there anxiously. Carly tries to maintain her composure as she sits across. Rasheeda simply takes out an iPad, taps it, and plays an audio message of Kirk and Carly recorded in a hotel room when Mona Scott asks, "Rasheeda, anything you want to say before we end?" Carly's expression falls. Rasheeda simply smiles and replies, "That's what I thought." The scene fades to dark as Kirk appears to have seen a ghost. Oh phew, are you all still alive? Because it was a combination of a crime documentary, a soap opera, and a therapy session. Rasheeda burned it down instead of simply breaking it down. Kirk as well. Over Carly Rad and a 24-year-old production assistant, that man botched his entire legacy. This cannot be made up. What comes next is the question today. Will Rasheeda actually finalize the divorce? Will Carly continue to deceive the whole Atlanta area into believing she is the victim? Will Kirk ever get better? Or will he only start a Frost Bistro? Edition of Side Chick. And let's not even talk about that reunion. That show will be aired without any ads, with 360-degree cameras and a priest in the backdrop. If Mona Scott Young is competent, but family, here's the actual deal. It's not only about Rasheeda or Kirk. This is about the consequences of repeatedly playing with a woman's loyalty. When your significant other becomes your toughest obstacle and when the ones you most trust are the ones driving the knife farther. I would like your opinion. Should Rasheeda forgive Kirk again, in your opinion? Or is it time for her to take charge and leave him in the remorse group chat? Should Carly Red be permanently barred from the friend group? Or is Kirk's midlife crisis using her as a pawn? Please, share your ideas in the comments area, which is sure to be more lively than the reunion. Hit the like button so hard that it transports Kirk to a different dimension if you're as shaken as we are. We're still dragging, so hit subscribe. These false narratives lines become problems in real life. Also activate the notification bell as we may receive fresh receipts every 10 minutes due to Mona's edits. This is a mess. There is anarchy here. Atlanta is experiencing love and hip-hop, and Kirk's marriage may be coming to an end in season 13. We'll be observing. We'll be enjoying every last drop while conversing. See you all at the upcoming interval.